Yes. Either one of them. Either one of them. Do you mind grabbing that pen for me? That vape right by the whatchamacallit? And there's water inside the cupboard. I meant to grab them too. But inside the cupboard, if you would like a water, right here, right in front of you.
All right, right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to.
Oh, okay. What's up, Jay Biggs?
Good.
How you feeling, good brother?
I'm straight, man. Got a camera set up in a minute. You good with the board?
I think so.
Playing with it,
I was playing with it earlier. Microphone check. Huh? Yes, please. I don't, brother. You already know that. You already know I know what I'm doing.
Should I just, or should I?
Yeah, you can connect to your live, and then you can use these stands here to put your phone on.
Which one should I go on? Should I go on Instagram or Facebook?
Which one do you have the most engagement on?
My Facebook personal page. I don't like that.
Okay.
But that's
So we're live on Facebook and Instagram on a radio channel.
I think I will go live on my personal, not my personal, but my business page.
All right, all right.
Hold on.
Let me minimize, close. Say what? Now we already live, brother. We already live.
Right here?
Mm-hmm. Just pull it out. There you go. There you go. So this expands and this comes up like that. Ain't nothing but feelings, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe this side looks better.
Yes, yes. Get your angles. Get your angles.
I started noticing, oh, I got wrinkles.
All right, we're going to get ready to go. L-I-V-E. L-I-V-E. Mr. Biggs, can you do an audio check for me on air? Can you do a quick audio check for me? All right, you're on microphone 3. You can put the headphones on once you get your hair on point. Get your look down. Do a quick mic check.
Okay.
Pull the mic close to you so we can hear how you sound coming through the air.
Right here, sound good?
Yep, there it is. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. So let me get the episode up and running. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody that's checking in. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in on the live, the IG live, the Facebook live. We are live on air for everybody that's around the world tapping in. We are back with another super dope episode of the O.M.G. On My Grind live interview. As you know, we tap in with people who are on their grind, making things happen in the areas of business, music, community leaders, like the whole nine. So this week, we got a special episode with Miss Beanie Paints. Talk to us, Miss Beanie.
Hey, y'all. How's everybody doing out there? Kind of excited to be here today.
Mm-hmm.
Get this stuff started and going and see what's going to happen. Introduce some new artwork that I'm working on. And
Nice,
some new
nice.
projects that I'm doing.
Get a little closer to the microphone.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That way we can make sure you heard. Make sure the people heard you. You heard?
You hear me?
So let's just get right into it.
Cool.
You know, I like for people to use this platform just to be able to share what it is that you got going on and get a little backstory into why you do what you do and how you came into it. So for the first thing we're going to get into is like, how did you get involved with art? Like,
Oh man.
talk to us about your love for
My
art.
love for art. I've been an artist my whole life.
Okay.
Like, from the time I came out, I know I was an artist, but I just didn't know it was art.
Okay.
I know
So your scribble as a youngster was nice.
It was decent.
Okay.
It was decent. But, you know, honestly, just to give a little bit of feedback, like, my dad was a photographer. He was a professional photographer, and he also did stage. So I grew up on a theater set,
Okay.
watching backdrops being created and made. And then my mom was a seamstress. So, you know, sitting down on the floor with her creating patterns, I went to bed and woke up to the sound of her sewing machine.
Nice.
You know, and then my stepmom, she was a graphic designer. So art was always there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was always cultivated. However, it wasn't always pushed.
Okay. Okay.
You know, but
Talk to us about how you felt like it wasn't pushed. What was the? Ooh.
okay. So as a kid, you know, I grew up in the 80s.
Okay.
And in the 80s, I had fashion plates. You know, they were like the pink little things that you would scribble on, and you could make like a design for a Barbie or whatever. You could like switch the clothes and things out. So when I was little, I wanted to be a fashion designer. Then I wanted to be an interior designer.
Okay.
And my mom was a seamstress, you know. I was just like, oh, this is what I want to do. And you're like looking at all those beautiful magazines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad was just like, killed my little dream like a roach. She's like, you can't do that.
Oh.
It was just like, there's no money in it. You would have to be really, really good and da-da-da-da-da.
Man, shout out to all the parents who were unsuspectedly dream killers, man.
Right.
I don't think they did that like out of like cruel intent. It was just, there was an era where like dreaming was forbidden. Like, you know, if you had a dream, if it didn't go along with like what America said you needed to do, go to school, get a job, and take care of your family, anything outside of the box was just like, you can't do it.
It was. And when he said that, he did say one thing. He said, you're going to have to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but you need to go to school. And I was like, well, I wanted to do art because I wanted to, my dream was to go to New York and be a fashion designer.
Okay.
You know, that's what I wanted to do. Way back, I was junior high.
Right. So was that Gloria Vanderbilt inspiration?
Yes,
Was around that era?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
most definitely. You know, that's what I wanted to do. And, you know, and I would sit there and draw clothing. And that's what I was doing. And then, I don't know if I think we're around the same age, but do you remember you would get the little flyers that would come in the mail, and it would say, if you could draw this bear with a hat on it, if you could draw this turtle with a turtleneck, you could go to our art school.
Nice. I don't recall that. I might have got intercepted. In my household.
So I would sit down and I would just like draw, and I was like, look, Dad. He was like, you did that? And I'm like, yeah, can I go to the school? And he was like, it don't work like that.
Right.
And I was like, what? But my brother is an artist. And then I grew up with friends who are also artists. He's still an artist.
Okay.
A good friend of mine named Tony. And I was always inspired by what they did. And, you know, just kind of growing up, you kind of forget.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, Dad said I have to go to school. So later on, I went to school, and he always wanted me to be a lawyer. I did not want to be a lawyer. I was like, a lawyer? Like,
there go them great parents again telling us what's best for us.
So, you know, I went to school, did the school thing. I didn't go for law, but I did get a paralegal degree. Then I got early childhood development degree. Then I got a psychology, sociology degree. Then I got a master's degree. Then I started working on my doctorate, and I was just like, I don't like any of it.
That's and that's a lot of education. And education costs a lot here in America.
It sure
And so you went through what schools did you go to?
Okay, so I started off at CCAC.
Okay.
So I got my first 2 degrees, my associate's degrees at CCAC. Then from there, I went to Carlo.
Okay.
Got my psychology and minored in sociology. And then from there, I went to University of Phoenix for my master's.
Okay.
And then I started on my doctorate at Argosy University.
Okay. So all of this was in like the what is that called, social service field?
Mm-mm.
Uh-oh.
No, so the crazy thing is, it's like when I went to school to teach. That's
Oh,
what
my
I
bad.
wanted to do.
That was legal field.
Yeah, I did start off legal because my dad said legal. You know, I was like, okay. I hated that.
When did you get the courage to just say, you know what?
You really want to know?
Yes.
You really want to know?
I think they want to know.
Okay, so this is what happened. This is like a true, honest to God story. So I was making a really good, decent amount of money.
Okay.
Right? My tax attorney, he was just like, you made this much?
Right.
You know, I was just like, yeah. But I was working, and then the school that I was working, because I was working at the Art Institute, they closed. Some other things I was doing, everything just started falling.
Okay.
Like everything started falling. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? You know, and I'm stressing, and you know, my daughters were still going to the store. They're still throwing stuff in the cart. I was like, I can't afford that right now.
Right.
And I'm just going to job interview after job interview after job interview, and it was trying. You know, I was telling my girlfriend at the time, I was like, I'm still getting these FU emails that you didn't get it, you didn't get it, you didn't get it. And so I hired a headhunter to help me find something, and the headhunter told me, your resume is intimidating. What the F? I'm like, it's intimidating, but this is what I have been doing. This is my capability. I mean, I've had, you know, started businesses, ran businesses. I'm like, I know how to do it. Like, what do you mean it's intimidating? And so she actually told me to take some degrees off.
What?
I'm like, what?
You put in all the work to get the degrees. I want people to know I earned this here.
Exactly. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
And so that happened not once, twice, 3 times. It was just like, take a degree off? I took my resume to someone else. They said, dummy it down. What? And it just started hurting. It was just like stabbing me in the you know, chest. I was like, dummy it down?
Right.
I'm like, I'm not a dummy.
Right. I'm not a dummy. So why am I going to dummy some stuff?
Exactly.
I feel you.
And I was just like, I refuse to do it. So I just got so fed up with trying to comply or be a part of corporate to where I just said, F y'all, I'm just going to do my own stuff.
Okay.
And so,
I can understand it. That's that entrepreneurial spirit, too. That's something special that exists in people.
Just got mad. It just got really, really mad. And I was sitting on a nonprofit board, and we were trying to do a fundraiser, and she was just like, well, we need to have a face painter. And I was like, okay. And we didn't have enough money for a face painter.
Okay. It wasn't in the budget.
It wasn't in the budget.
We need it. We want it, but it's not in the budget.
And I was like, I'll do it. I think I could do it, you know. And at this time, I was not practicing my art.
Okay.
I knew how to do it, but I haven't done it in years.
Right.
It was just like dormant.
And that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask, were you like still actively engaged in your art as you were in school?
Nah. Like I was always a kid to where I always doodled on something. My notebook, my clothes, my pants, whatever. I got in trouble for...
Don't be writing on that while you all. That type stuff.
Yes.
But it was beautiful.
I would look. It was so much to the point to when I was a kid, you know, I would see a wall. I would just like, it was drawing. It's white. It's blank. Let me, you know. And
it needs something. I see what it needs.
I would put my dresser in front of it just so my dad wouldn't see.
Man. So that's when that is definitely indicative of it being in the blood. Like, you know, when you just find yourself having the urge just to create and do your thing. So you stepped out from corporate and you decided, oh, no, we were talking about the face painting for the...
Oh, yeah. So, you know, I'm sitting there face painting for the Zealous Hope Foundation. And people were start coming in the line. I was like, what the hell? You know, I was just like, okay. And then it wasn't, I kid you not, my line was thick.
Okay.
It was. There's a lot of kids out there. And it wasn't until one of the parents said, how much is it? Like, what do you mean? I was like, it's free. You know, what do you mean? And then she said, I would pay for this. You do this better than such and such. All she had to say was, how much is it? And I would pay. I'm like,
there it is.
There it is.
There it is. So, at what point did you decide, like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm making this transition. Like, you know, corporate world is like security. It gives us like a false sense of security. Like, we can rely on that paycheck every couple weeks. But, you know, being an entrepreneur, like, if you don't grind, you don't eat. And you know, a lot of times we're or discouraged from doing that because, you know, a lot of people just get caught up in, hey, man, you know, if you show up to work on time, do what you need to do, you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, you be able to take care of your bills. But then it's just that urge, like, oh, I know I have to do more. They got me capped.
Yeah.
So what was it that gave you, like, the effort, I'm doing it?
I really want to say it was like when I was sitting in those interviews and I wasn't getting it. And I said, I have got to invest in myself because nobody is going to invest in me. And when I was playing that image of when that woman said, I would pay you for this.
Right.
And then it was just like from there, it's just like someone says, hey, do you know a face painter? And then my friend at the time, she was just like, hey, Irene, someone needs a face painter. Do you want to do it just for practice? I'm like, okay. And that's how it started. And I kid you not, like when you were just having it as a hobby, right? Just keeping it as a hobby. And in one weekend, you come home with like $300-400 just a weekend. You're like, and all I did was go out for a couple hours?
Right.
Like,
and do something I really enjoy doing.
Right. Exactly.
It's not work at that point.
It's not.
It's not work.
It's not work until I have to update my website or something.
Right. The stuff that we don't like. All of the technical business stuff. Yeah, I feel you. You. So people started getting familiar with your brand behind face painting. Where did you get the name Beanie Paints from? Like, how did Beanie come into it?
This is a crazy story. So I was sitting at my friend's house, sitting on the couch, and I was just like, you know what, Irene, you got to do this. Because I always told myself, you know what, I'm not one for doing Amway, Tupperware,
right?
Whoever's name brand, you know those like
right
multi-level marketing things.
Yeah, exactly. And they were going heavy in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, if you want to start a business under our business.
And I was like, I'm not doing that. So I was like, okay, if I'm doing this, I got to have a name. And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, I have no freaking clue. And it just came to me, Beanie. I was like, Beanie. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, Beanie. Like, so as a kid, my name is Irene, right? As a little girl, it was always Irene Beanie.
Oh.
That was, as a little girl, that was my nickname. Come here, Irene Beanie. You know, and then as I got a little bit older, it was just jumped from Irene Beanie just to Beanie. So it was my name. So I just went back to that, and I just picked it up, and I just branded it.
There it is. That is a beautiful thing. You just took what was already there and just made it a thing. Because right now, your name is like on fire in the city when it comes down to this art. And, you know, I've done some research and seen that you've been involved in, you know, a lot of things. Talk to us about your transition. I made a comment that, you know, people see the flame, they don't see the spark, right? And so I feel like, you know, again, we use this platform to give people insight into the spark. You know what I mean? People have seen your face paints. They see the stuff that you're involved in now, but they don't necessarily know the grind that it took to get to that point. So talk to us about how you, like, once you decided, like, I'm betting on myself. Like, this is how I'm going to pay my bills. This is how I'm going to take care of my kids. This is what I'm going to do. Explain to the people just like the tenacity that it took to be able to get your name to where it is now.
Well, thank you for that compliment, because to me, I'm still grinding. I am. But one of the biggest things is that if you don't believe in yourself, who the F will? Right. First and foremost, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. And if this is something that you want to do, and it's yours, and it's your talent that the creator, that God gave you, then why the heck not? You know, and as I was saying before, like, me having a business background, I was promoting so many other people's businesses. Right. And, you know, it's just finally just like, you know what, instead of me putting all this energy over here, let me put it right here inside of myself. So I just started investing in myself. And that was the best investment I have ever made. I'm just the best ever. And you know what, I have to, I understand exactly where you're coming from, because I worked in corporate for juvenile probation for 21 years. And I worked with juveniles like since I was 18 years old. I felt like the knucklehead stuff that I did like as a youngster, I kind of felt like was my obligation to give back. But the whole time I just felt like I was being marginalized and compartmentalized and capped. And I'm like, I'm giving these people the best of me. I'm going all out, and this is all I'm getting. This is all I'm getting. This is it. I can go no higher. I could go back to school and pay for a degree, and they're only going to give me like
$20,000 more or $10,000 more, then after taxes, it ain't gonna really be, just that. And you're absolutely right. Like, you really have to be open to like just betting on yourself and just believing in what you're building, and just know that you're doing it from the place that it needs to come from. So people can appreciate what it is that you're doing. So my hat's off to you. I really appreciate you stating that, because I think that's the element that a lot of people who are looking into starting a business, like, they say a lot of business fail in the first 5 years. And I think a lot of times, a lot of it has to do with like that fortitude that you have, that tenacity that you need to have, just to, like, when things don't look good, I just got to keep going. I just got to keep going.
And listen, y'all, I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. Is just like, it's still a struggle. I still grind. Every single day I do something. Like, when I started this, it was just like, okay, I need to get business cards. I need to do brochures. I need to make a whole new Facebook page. I need to do all this. And I had to think about, where is this money going to come from?
Mm-hmm.
I started driving Lyft. I was doing Uber. I would clean people's houses just so I could get to where I'm doing right now. Like, when I decided to say, you know what, I'm going to buy my first set of professional brushes. Those brushes alone were, one brush, I kid you not, could be between like $10 and $25. Just one brush. And to do a look, I use like 10 brushes at times, you know?
Right.
That's just the brushes, not to mention the paint or the canvas or anything else.
I recently did, like, I guess, like, my first canvas painting officially at an event that some partners of ours had. Shout out Warren and Candace. They had like a paint and sip at their establishment, Hammond Acres out in West Mifflin. And, I had the opportunity to draw the Martin.
I saw it.
Did you see it? That was my first, baby. That was my first. But to go to make it relate to what you were saying in regards to the paintbrushes, like, prior to that, I'm in school, right? I'm in high schools, I'm in middle schools, I'm working with kids, and it's the Crayolas. Those paintbrushes are not Crayolas. They were thick, they were heavy. They got clean. When you went to clean it and wipe the color you was using and go to another color, it didn't bleed. So I get it. Like, I could tell the big difference between, like, good brushes, and even with the strokes, like, it was covering and stuff like that. So, again, just investing into the products that you need. How important was that for you to be able to just, like, get to the point where it's like, look, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it right.
When I decided to buy my first brushes and my first set of professional face paints, right? And they came in the mail, and I was just like so happy. I got like butterflies all on my stomach. I'm like, yes, finally, yes, right? And so I'm there, and I'm opening up the package, and I still remember, because it was Silly Farm products, and I was just like, oh my God, it's like Christmas for me, and as soon as I loaded up my brush, right, and I took that one stroke, I'm like, it's over. I'm like, game over. Because I saw the difference of the quality. I was like, it ain't nothing but a thing right now.
So had you done canvases with, like, lesser brushes prior to that? Okay.
I, like, being a kid, I started off using freaking blades of grass because I didn't have the right products. Yeah.
That's amazing. Listen. I'm sorry. We gotta take a pause on that. That's when you know you're serious. Man, you know what? I'm gonna figure out how to paint, man. That grass look like that. I'm gonna go outside and pick me a couple leaves of grass and see, it do work now. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
it would be the Bermuda grass on the side. I kid you not, because it was just, I needed a certain line to go a certain swoop, and my dad was not investing all that kind of money in brushes. He wasn't. It was just like, because my dad was a photographer, and he was just like, you're still too little.
But was he not able to see, like, the relation between,
I think he did,
the passion that he had for photography and the investments that he had to make for photography versus your passion for art?
I think he did, but I also think he was looking at the overall realities, me being raised in I'm old, in the 80s and 90s, right?
Not old. Wise.
Thank you. But I remember my dad pursuing his dream, and I kid you not, there were several days he would come home crying because of racism.
Right.
So I think he was trying to look at me going down a quote-unquote safer road for his young black daughter.
Right.
Going, okay, daughter, just be a lawyer or do this, because this road it's not easy.
Right.
You know, saying, okay, you're an artist, but now you're pursuing that. You're trying to get jobs and gigs, and it is nowhere near easy, especially when you're new at it.
Right.
You know, compared to, oh, I got a degree, let me go just get a job. You know, so it's hard.
And I could get it. I could get it as a parent. You know, one of our responsibilities is to protect our children. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sometimes, especially here in Pittsburgh, like, man, Pittsburgh is just a very challenging city, just based off of the polarization of our own culture and then the non-inclusion of every other culture. Right? It's so hard to get into like a groove here. You know what I mean? Like you really got to fight. That's why I don't got no nails. Clawing at everything. But it's like if you're not a part of a certain social circle, you're not going to get the looks, right? And you know, of course, if you're not a part of the safe colors, you know, it's really hard to get in with the mainstream, the white folks. I'm gonna just say it. We on Grime Mode Radio Live. This is what we do. They make it challenging. They really make it challenging by withholding information, right, and withholding opportunities. As a black woman, to be able to get into the spaces that you have, what were some of the obstacles that you had to overcome?
There's always obstacles.
Talk to us.
So, I was a hard-headed child.
Okay.
I was a hard-headed child. Like,
man, we were similar in so many ways.
Hard-headed. Like, I got many a spankings because I would not listen. Irene, didn't I tell you that? Yeah. I don't care about no.
Right. You're right. I heard you, but I don't think I'm going to listen.
Right. I mean, I still got scars on my stuff right now from doing something my mom or dad told me not to do. But I learned from that lesson. But still, it's just, I don't care about, to me, no, this means I just got to find another way around it.
Right. You know, no definitely leads to, let me find the yes. When you're hard-headed. And
right.
You definitely get it because I've been in this situation, you know, running the businesses that I have for a couple of years now, and you know, people told me it's not going to work here in Pittsburgh. You know, you're not going to get the support. Things aren't going to happen. You can't do that. It's not possible. And I've always said, like, I'm not going to allow other people's experiences to tell me what mine is going to be. You know what I mean? Of course, you value the information, you apply it, but at the same time, I'm not going to let your reality be my reality. If it didn't work for you, that's not saying it's not going to work for me. And being stubborn, I think, is I don't know. I see it as a good thing, you know. Yeah, I see it as a good thing because, you know, sometimes you just gotta prove them. You know what I mean? You just gotta prove it. So getting into these spaces and being able to, you know, get your art out there. We're going to definitely get into like some of your monumental pieces around the city and some of the things that you've done. Talk to us about it.
Well, one of the biggest things I would honestly say is that when you're trying to be successful, you got to take people with you. You cannot do it by yourself. And I'm not joking. When I started getting more elaborate with my face painting, right? You know, just like being on social media, you're like, let me hashtag this this makeup artist company over here. Let me hashtag this person. They weren't paying attention to me, you know? And I was just like, okay, bet. I got you. And I started thinking, no, I'm going to hashtag people right here in Pittsburgh who are just like me. You know, so I reached out to Q&K Lashes. I'm like, hey, I like your lashes. Can we partner up together? Bam. Reached out to somebody else who was doing Taylor Cosmetics. Hard Cosmetics. I reached out to her. I was like, you know what? Instead of me going to the MAC counter and buying buying them, she's right here in Pittsburgh and she was making her own. I was like, okay, bet. So I start reaching out to people who are doing the same thing as me because there's so much talent. So when you're talking about success, everybody has their own little niche of being successful, you know, and when you bring all that together, it's powerful.
It really
like,
is.
Speaking with like photographers and different models, like my art would be blinded if I didn't have the photographers that I use completely, you know, from using Tony Rue, using
dope photographer.
Yes, he is. Like from using Earl Carter, he was like my first photographer.
Earl's dope.
You know, Robert Waters. Dana Delgado.
Dana is my sister. Prayers for Dana, man. Yes, she is super dope as well.
So when just realizing that, okay, Irene, you cannot get up here unless you bring people with you. So when every time I would do something, I was like, hey, Debbie, I need some lashes. You know, I'm like, hey, Tony, can you do this Well, you already know. It's like, hey, Tony, can you do this
Absolutely.
video for me? Or, hey, you just got to reach out to the people who are doing the same things that you are, so we can all get where we need to be. And then, like my model, oh my God, Sarabi, she's had my back for so many things.
Shout out Queen Sarabi. Shout out Queen Sarabi. She is super
Yes.
talented, and I
Oh
know
my
that
God.
she, when she first started getting into modeling, she was saying like, "This is something I want to do." She came across a lot of flakiness in the beginning, but I'm glad that she started to connect with the right people. And when I started seeing like the body paint artwork, like she did that, you did the
Raider?
which one?
The one with the lightning in it. Is that the one you're talking
The
about?
rating was dope, but the first one that caught my eye was the one from it was the movie with the blue people.
Oh, okay. Avatar.
Avatar, there you go. There you go. Shout out my dysfunctional brain. But yeah, the Avatar. I seen that. I'm like, yo, she really look like Avatar. Wait a minute, is this actual picture or is this like graphic design?
Let me tell you about that shoot, okay? Sorry, Sarabi. Sorry, Tony. But I'm going to tell y'all this shoot. So, nothing went as planned.
Mm-hmm.
But, we filmed, like, we were supposed to go to a studio. That didn't fall through. So, she was just like, forget it. I'm still going to go through it. And her energy and her power was just like, damn.
Right.
She didn't take no for an answer either.
Right.
She's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it right here at home. I'm like, all right.
Y'all shot that at the house?
At the house.
Woo.
At the house. We put up a backdrop. I think we were using sheets and stuff because she had studio time, but they canceled on her.
Right.
It was just like, well,
And that's some of the stuff I was talking about. Like she went through like just the flakiness of
and
situations, and she's so passionate about it.
her babysitter didn't come through. We had to change diapers on the set.
Oh man.
And Tony had his stuff up, so we were shooting, and it was just like seeing. I think that was like 4 years ago, something like that. But seeing where she went from there to now, like we just finished a shoot like this summer in New York, and it was just like, wow, just like wow, it's just like amazing.
And and that's the testimony to like just sticking it through. Like there's going to be challenges and adversity in everything that you do, but those who succeed are those who persist. When the challenges get tough, the tough get going through, over, around. Any way possible,
Right.
but forward, still forward, not backwards. And for those who, give up, man, it's just like, it does get challenging. And that's super dope that you were able to share that experience because you wouldn't have got none of that from, like that was super dope. So that's where I started to notice, the body paint work and stuff like that there. And I think I attended like a couple community fairs that you were, painting that and stuff like that. But, the artwork is growing, man. It's growing. You're doing more and more. Talk to us about some of these murals you've done around the city.
Oh wow. Okay. I can't name all the murals I've had. I'm gonna get like Cam one day, and I think he told me, he said, I got almost 500 murals under my portfolio. I'm like, that's dope as heck.
Right.
But I don't have as many as he does, but I've done several murals, and I think I hate saying which one is my favorite. I really hate saying that because, when you put something out there, it's a piece of you anyway.
Right.
But one of them is, I did it at a gym, Charles Cook's gym, in the strip. It's not the strip district, it's Lawrenceville.
Okay.
And I did it in his gym, and the way he gave me a vision, he told me this is the logo I want, right? I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what do you think about this? Or what he's like, you know what? Just go ahead, have at it. I'm like, are you sure?
Right.
So, doing this mural.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pause you because we're coming up off the first half an hour, and we don't want to miss this story. We don't want to miss this story. So make sure y'all tune in to part 2 of the O.M.G. On My Grind live interview with Miss Beanie Paints. All right. While that's loading. Yeah. So we're back for the second part of the O.M.G. On My Grind live interview with Miss Beanie Paints, and she was explaining how was it your first mural that you did, or just one of the murals that you did?
That's one of my most recent. Yeah.
One of the most recent ones. So finish telling us. So he had the vision, and you were like, well, what do you think about this? And then
he just let me go at it, and I really appreciated that from him because he just gave me like a sketch of like, all I want is my logo. Anything else you do is on you.
Right.
So I kept coming back to him. I'm like, well, what do you think about this? He said, just do what you need to do.
Right.
And it's like, if you ever go there, it's Freedom Fitness on Lawrenceville. off of Butler Street, and it's a fist coming out of a wall, you know. And the way I have the fist is each knuckle is a different color, representing, you know, people. We're all different colors.
Right.
And I really appreciated him letting me just express myself through that. Just like, because you're breaking through so many barriers, you know. No, I was a fat girl for a while.
Uh-oh.
You know?
So fitness is important.
It is. It really is.
I need to get it together.
Fitness is extremely important, and it was life-changing for me. So shout out to Charles Cook for letting me express myself on his wall. But that was, I can't say the last one, but that was really sentimental to me. So every time I go to the gym, and I not only see the large mural, but I've done the artwork around the gym as well. So it's that was really nice for me to have.
That's
that.
awesome. So I have a personal question.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really personal. It's pertaining to what we're talking about. But how do you get like commissioned to do a mural like around the city? Because I'm seeing more and more of them pop up, and I'm loving that the city is like looking at like graffiti and the arts as like art and not like the bullcrap, and they're tapping in with the artists to make some of these walls look like something. How does that happen?
There's a lot of different ways. So I'm also a part of the Greater Pittsburgh Art Council, so you'll see an RFP, request for proposal.
Okay.
And you can submit your artwork and be selected that way. There's other times to when someone will just reach out to me directly and ask me to do one.
Okay.
But a lot of times you're just submitting your artwork hoping to get accepted. You know, and it's a grind because I kid you not, there are some dope ass artists. Like when you see the artist that was selected over you, like, damn.
I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad. Matter of fact, I might go down while they doing it and take some notes.
I have.
See, that's the genius. That is the genius, man. I'm telling you, you have to be willing to like understand like when you're in something that can help benefit what you got going. There's so many people who close their mind off to like collaboration and like they see something that somebody else is doing and they just find it necessary to criticize or
heck no.
And a lot of it is because I wish I could do it myself. You know what I mean?
That's just jealousy.
That's
Jealousy is not going to get you anywhere except, you know, headache.
Exactly.
You know, but I've gone to several of the artists that I've seen, and I would just sit there and watch. Like my kids would say, "Mom, what are you doing?" I was like, "We're just going to watch what he does."
Right.
And just like congratulate him, and I'll sit there and, you know, if you don't mind, can I talk to you, and then ask you some questions like, "Why did you decide to use this spray paint compared to this one?" You know?
Right.
And you just sit there asking, and then that's how you learn. You know, you can't hate on anybody. That's not going to get you anywhere. Nowhere.
That's why a lot of people who do it are nowhere. Shout out to all the haters. I love this. Keep it going.
Right.
So that's super dope, man. That's super dope. I've always wondered how that happened because you know I'm traveling through the city and I'm seeing stuff pop up and you know walls is just looking extra beautiful and things of that nature. So I'm really thankful for the progression the city is making in the arts culture. How important do you think how important would you say art is to life in general as a whole in every aspect of it?
Art is life.
Talk to us.
Art is life. I don't see how it's not. You know, but just with something minute. Look at our body. You know, it's our body is a piece of art in itself. You know, even if it looks like a piece of welted, it's still art. Melted wax or something. It's still art. But our bodies are art. If you ever think about, okay, let me recreate something. Like when I started face painting and trying to get into the details. Trying to recreate something that's on your body is hard as ever. Try to recreate a skull. Try to recreate muscle tissue. It's art.
Right.
And you look at it like, whoever created this was bad. And we already know who did. You know, but art is literally everywhere. Like, whether you're looking at clothes, looking at somebody's logo, looking at someone's color splashes, whether you are, you know, picking something up at the grocery store, looking at someone's label, that's art. Art is literally everywhere. You can't walk past anything and not see art.
And you know what? I take it a step further because, like, nature is art. You know, I'm a real big visual person, and I have like these weird things that I get into. You know, I don't really share it with the world, but I'm gonna share it today. But I'm like the type of person that'll just go sit on a wall and just stare at like the trees or, you know, I love scenery, mountain. I love seeing the sunset and rise in the clouds. And it's just like, it is absolutely beautiful. It's just, and I think the artist inside of me be wishing I could paint. But somewhere along the lines of life, my hands and you know the rules of staying in between the lines.
That's right there. Take that line away. You got to. I think that was been detrimental to a lot of
Yeah, that was definitely detrimental to me. I mean, I was one of them kids who, like, when I was in high school, they told me, you know what, you are not allowed to turn in another handwritten assignment. You need to learn to type if you want to get credit for any work that you're doing. And even when I was at my county job, I think I was a main contributor to why they started making everybody submit their work online, because at one point we had to write it out in the secretaries with, you know,
retype it into
the system and all that stuff there. And they started putting up a fuss. We're not. Dion is writing in hieroglyphics. He is drawing pictures. This is not a note. This is hieroglyphics. We can't decipher this. He needs to type this up. And then it was like, oh, we got to make it fair across everybody. So shout out to the SIS program and all the staff that's still at the SIS that still have to type up your paperwork. I'm sorry. I'm no longer there. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that was always my biggest thing, is like I just never had the steady hand. And things of that nature. But I've always been like fond of art. And there was a guy that I seen not too long ago. He would do like this splash, like he'd just take the paint and throw it on the wall, or like he'd take like sort of like this, but blank, and he would throw the splash on there and then get to moving his body all on it, and then, you know, do some stuff with some lines, and next thing you know, it's like a picture of the person who he was doing the artwork for. Like,
how did you do that?
Exactly, like, how does that happen?
I can't answer that question.
No. No. I was just sharing
I feel you though.
my love for art, and just how I just see people, you know, create different things. So talk to us about like what you got on the horizons. What are some of the, like, if people wanted to tap in with you, like what are some of the, like people?
What's going on? Yeah. Oh wow. So I'm always coming up with something new, some type of new variation of Beanie Paints. So as most people know, Beanie Paints is the Pittsburgh face painter, right? So you could come out and Google me, whether you want to do for face painting, and I'm there for face painting. But I also do body painting, as we were talking about. But some newer things that I'm really trying to push and promote are my sip and paints.
Okay.
So did a sip and paint a little while ago, and it was so amazing. So that's like the newest baby that I'm working on. Shout out to Chef D. You know, he is a phenomenal chef here in Pittsburgh, and we collab together to where we are able to provide a gourmet meal, right, for you in your home, along with paint and wine. It's like the whole setup is gorgeous. Like,
man, let me tell you, when I seen that video, and you told me about this, you know, I don't want to let y'all know I got the cheat code. I don't want to let you know I got the cheat code. No, but I happened to see the video that Tony Rue did. Shout out Tony Rue, because it was a super dope video.
Yeah, thank you.
But it was very sensual. And I think that it's amazing because, you know, of course you got painting with a twist, and then you got like people who do the trapping paints and sipping paints and all this stuff here. Your whole concept is like way on another level. How did you come up with that?
Okay, so I honestly gotta give my shout out to my boy. His like Clinton Valentine. He actually I was just talking on the phone with him. You know, I kid you not, I was going down 51 on my way to the day job, and we're just sitting there talking, you know, and every once in a while we'll talk, and we're saying, okay, what's motivating you today? What are you gonna do? Like, He keeps me on my P's and Q's, and you always have to have someone, you know, in your corner.
Motivated, absolutely.
Yeah, so he's really good for that. Shout out to him. And so I was just like, I was thinking about doing. He's like, you know what? I'm like, what? He's like, you should do something like this. I'm like, oh wow. And he planted that seed about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I forgot. You know how someone will just plant a seed and you'll cultivate it and then put water on it? You just forget.
Right.
And it wasn't until something came up and he was like, you know what? I gave you that idea. I'm like, you sure enough did. You know, so really shout out to him. He put that seed in my mind. But the way it came together, and then just having people help me, like, you need help sometimes. So,
absolutely.
So with the sip and paint piece, I even reached out to Candy. She helped me design my glasses, design the cups, you know, so it was just...
So does the sip and paint come with, like, the custom design?
Yes, it does.
Oh, man. All right, so we're going to have to scale back a little bit. We're going to have to scale back. Because I really need people to understand what this is right here. I really need, for all of you who's going to tap in on YouTube, those who are listening online, those who are on live right now, I really need for you to take a moment to really understand what this is. So, take us back to like the elements of the sipping paint. So, I'm a customer, right?
All right.
And I contact you and I see, hey, you got the sipping paint. What is it?
Okay. So we have 3 different packages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're speaking right now about our Platinum Splash package. It's our deluxe package.
The deluxe.
It's the deluxe. There's nothing short of
The creme de la.
Exactly. Completely. So when we arrive, we are going to arrive to your place about an hour and a half early just to prepare for the time of your event.
Mm-hmm. So this happens in my own space that I have provided for,
yes.
Whether it's my home, hotel, whatever the case. Okay, all right.
Exactly, right. So we're going to come there, the chef is going to have his gear on. I'm going to have my professional attire on.
Mm-hmm.
Chef's going to go into the kitchen.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. You come on with a chef?
Yes.
Oh, man. And what's the chef doing?
He's preparing the meal. So rather you wanted to have, like, as you said, creme brulee, rather you wanted to have steak or filet
mignon?
Yes. I don't eat meat, so
filet mignon?
filet mignon or salmon. Like, so that one evening he prepared an amazing salmon. I was like, oh my gosh. So he chops up everything himself.
So it's all fresh?
Fresh.
He's coming in with the fresh.
Fresh. Yes. He's coming in with fresh. And he's also coming in with his own utensils.
Okay.
So he's coming in. You are being overwhelmed with the smell that's coming in from the kitchen, right? Chef D is amazing, right? So the music's on in the background, right? And then I'm coming in and poof, you're going to have a beautiful setup for your sip.
Okay.
And the paint, right? So your table's prepared with 2 stretch canvases in the background that you decided to select, right? So during this time that I am instructing you with your artwork, with your piece, you're also sipping on chilled wine.
Oh, what kind of chilled wine is it?
Well, I love Moscato, so it's Pinot Grigio, Moscato, a red wine, Sauvignon Blanc, whatever you decided to choose.
Okay.
But some people don't like wine, so you can have something else.
Give me some Henny. I'm going to sip Henny.
No, that can't be provided. But this comes with.
So you guys provide. Okay, so
yes,
the alcohol is provided in the service. Super dope.
Yes.
Super dope.
Yes. So you have a 3-course meal. So the 3-course meal, it starts off with an appetizer. So it starts off with a bruschetta. In-house made bruschetta. Okay? It's not store-bought. These are fresh tomatoes that he's crushing up with his cilantro and everything else with his OVOO. And he's giving it to you on bread that he toasted.
Oh, God.
Okay? So you're smelling all this aroma while you're sitting there painting.
I'm looking at that pizza I ordered. Oh, goodness gracious.
Right.
Finish talking to me. You got me. Finish telling me.
So, as I'm painting, chef comes out and gives out the hors d'oeuvres. And he's also refilling your glasses with wine, right? And so we are looking at your piece that's coming together. I'm giving the different brush strokes that you can. And by the time you're almost done, right, it's time for your main course, right?
Nice.
So the main course is at the next table.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes we could bring our own table depending on how big your place is. And that's where you're going to have your main course meal. So while you're having your main course meal, we are kind of like cleaning up I'm cleaning up my brushes a little bit.
Right.
He's coming back there cleaning up the kitchen. Right? And so by the time they're done with the meal, they're coming back a little bit and they're finishing up some final touches.
On the paint,
right? Okay. So you're having another glass of whatever it is, right? And after your painting is completely done and dry, guess what?
What?
Chef D comes out with dessert.
Ooh. Not dessert. Not dessert.
Oh, my goodness. So he comes out with dessert, and as you seen in the video, that beautiful blue fire that goes around your bowl.
Right.
And the way he does a dessert is in one dish.
Okay.
So you got to feed each other.
Oh, man.
So right before, that cherry comes on top, we're saying, have a good evening.
Right. And if you didn't if you didn't create the ambiance that was necessary to have a great night, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, this is not for everybody. This is for that special someone. I would honestly say that. This is for somebody that you love, that you care about.
Right.
But you can also do this even for your family. It doesn't have to just be for a romantic somebody. It could be for your family.
But it's way more intimate than how like the twist and paint with a twist and other places do.
It is completely intimate.
And again, looking at the video, you get the lighting, you get the music. Like it's just a lot that. It's a lot to the senses. You're touching all your senses. You're touching your sight, your smell.
Yes.
Wait a minute, I already said. Okay, I'm done. I only know 2.
Your hearing.
Yeah, I only know 2. But that is what's up, man. And again, that's something that's totally original. It's totally original. And we definitely want people to be able to reach out and figure, get to a point where they're actually booking you for this. So talk to us about how people can, if I know I got my anniversary coming up, or I'm in a doghouse and I'm trying to get the hell out. How do I reach out to you and get this here? What is it called? The Platinum
Splash.
Platinum Splash. How do I get the Platinum Splash?
Okay. Easiest way to do it is just come straight to my website.
Okay.
So you come to my website, you go to the top bar, and you will see Sip and Paint. You'll see different packages that I have available up there. So,
nice. What is your website?
www.beaniepaints.com.
Spell Beanie for us.
Beanie.
Paints.com.
Yes.
BeaniePaints.com.
You can see all the different artwork that I have available for you there. Face painting, body painting, canvases, murals, a custom portrait. Gotta throw those in there too.
Those are dope. So do you pre-draw the image that they're going to paint, or
I pre-sketch it.
Okay, you pre-sketch it. Okay, the Martin Luther King that I did was pre-sketched, so all I had to do was color it in. And I don't know if I was trying to make a statement with my color scheme, but I don't know if it came across the way I wanted it.
I knew who it was. I mean, that's that's half the battle right there.
There it is. I kind of ran out of time. I didn't get a chance to finish his eyes, so he kind of looked like the Forrest Whitaker of the Forrest Whitaker of Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? So shout out Forrest and shout out Martin for the opportunity, man. All right, so I have a question for you in regards to like getting back to the body paint stuff.
Okay.
When you do your face painting and your body painting, it almost looks like I said, it's like digital art. It almost looks like it's unreal. In regards to like the depth, you really get deep into like how do you create that level of depth? Like the lions, like, or was it it was a tiger I seen.
Okay.
So I seen the tiger and it really looked like it was like 3D almost, like 3-dimensional on the face. So it's like not only do you have the person's face, but you also have the paint that's going on the face that like almost reshapes the face where it actually looks like a god darn. Talk to us about how that's like super dope. How do you make that happen?
That is with shading. So I use body paint and then I also use powders. But were you speaking about the one that was on me or a child? I couldn't remember.
I think I seen one on a child, but then I seen the picture that I posted today. And was like just again amazed at just like the depth, the detail. You just go deep in detail. So I just wanted you to elaborate on that because I feel like there's just certain things that separate people from people who are in the same field from other people who kind of do the same thing. So of course we've been to like fairs and stuff like that, or we've taken our kids to places to get face paints and they just come back with stuff just slapped on them. And then there's people like yourself where they go and they come back and you're like, whoa, hold on. I think as a grown-up, I'm about to do this myself. We're going to walk around looking like twins scaring everybody.
So, yes, I have always been heavy on detail. Whether I was writing a paper, cleaning my house, I'm always paying attention to detail. So I kind of get that from both of my parents.
Okay.
Pay attention to the detail. Look at it carefully. But also pushing yourself to be better, because I am my biggest critic.
Right.
I will delete a post. I'm like, that's ugly as ever. I'm not putting that up. But the time I take into something is because I want to take the time into that. That person. Or that piece of artwork that I'm doing that work on. But I know what I want it to look like in my head, and so you kind of have to train your eye. Like I'm teaching a group of young children and I was like, you have to train your eye to see something,
right?
So just like right now how I'm looking at you, and I'm seeing that your eyes naturally are sitting a little bit back further from your nose. Like, but what's giving you that perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because there's depth, right? And so you put depth in with shadow and shade. So you have to have drop shadows. You have to have contrast, you know? So if this is back and it's a little bit darker, that means the foreground has to be a little bit lighter, you know? So it's just training your eye to see certain things.
That is so dope. That is so dope.
I once had a teacher who told me, it was a long time ago, it was an art teacher I had, and he was mean, but he's actually said, paint what you see.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, paint what you see? He's like, yes, paint what you see. And it took me a long time to really train my eye to really see, okay, all right, that's a little bit curved on that side, and there's a little bit of white right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really training my eye.
Nice. So when you're at these festivals, how long does it take for you to do like one face? Because for me, I mean, you know, of course I'm not involved in it, so I know nothing. So just listening to you explain it and then actually seeing it done, I would think like the second person in line would be like, oh,
They do.
oh.
They do.
So how long does it take for you to actually?
Yeah. So for festivals, naturally you want to be quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I try to spend less than 3 to 5 minutes on a child.
Really?
Yeah.
You could do that in 3 to 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
But honestly, there's a difference between festival face painting and like what I do on myself in the evening. That's like completely different.
Right,
like some of those looks that you'll see on myself, like the one that you have tagged in for this post, that took me about 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
You know, so there is a difference.
Right. Right. I mean, as I guess as it should be, you know what I mean? But I still thought and I was referring to like the festival paint, I still thought it would take like at least 20 minutes to a half an hour.
You want to make any money?
Yeah, I couldn't. That's why I said the second person in line. Dang. So so you're speaking on efficiency too. So not only do you have to have the eye and the ability to be able to see the things that you have to see what you paint, right? You have to have the efficiency to be able to do it in a timely manner as well.
Right.
And that's just tremendous, man. I mean, I think, you know, again, just getting this insight and getting to learn more about you and your business and, you know, just you as a person, it's just been an amazing, this has been an amazing lesson for me.
Thank you.
And I'm sure it's going to be an amazing lesson for our audience as well. Talk to us about the painting you have here. You brought one of the paintings.
Okay, I don't know if everyone can see it.
They can see it.
So this is like the only piece. Well, I have like one more, but it's not anywhere near done. But this is a piece that I just brought in, and I wanted something completely abstract. But I love color. I love splashes of color. So I don't even know what I'm going to name this piece yet. But this is just a piece I'm working on, and actually, it's my daughter. It's a painting of my daughter, and she has always stole my artwork. I'm coming at you, Lego. She has always stole my artwork, but she did it just because she said she wanted something. So with this piece, I'm making it just for her.
Okay.
And so I was showing it to her. She's like, "That's me." I'm like, "Yeah."
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a really nice piece. Color splashes everywhere.
Thank you.
You know, it's definitely super dope. And I'm sorry for the people on the live. You don't get like how vivid the picture actually is. Kind of washed out with the bright light, but if people wanted to see your canvas work and wanted to see like your artwork, where could people tap in to see your artwork and your canvas work?
Oh, okay. So online, you can come straight to my website. And again, that's beaniepaints.com. You could come straight to my Instagram. Instagram is pretty much nothing but art.
Okay.
So Instagram is also Beanie Paints. You can also visit me on Etsy, and I think that's Beanie Paints as well on Etsy.
Okay.
I think that's under Beanie Paints LLC, so you could actually go to my Etsy and also go to my personal website and purchase art there. But here in the city, my art is in Redfridge Bowl. Shout out to Chris.
Nice.
Chris Trolls, he has my artwork in his studio, as well as, oh my goodness, Nikki Joe.
Okay.
Nikki Joe and Cynthia. So my artwork is also downtown Pittsburgh in their gallery.
Nice.
So that is super dope. Like when I'm telling you that as an artist, being able to have your art in a gallery, like, oh snap!
There
like,
it is.
Like what?
But more. I mean, we're not taking away from anything like you know what you just mentioned. But you failed to mention there's another place that your artwork has been I don't know if it's on display, but I know that I just seen a post a couple of days ago or a week ago about the mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about how in the heck you get to the mayor's office.
You know what? Sometimes, I kid you not, I think it's just a vibration. It's just a vibration, right? That's out there, and then, I don't know, it's just like having a balloon on you, and you just on this vibration, it just starts to float everywhere. So this is a crazy story. So, Fantasy reaches out to me and says, I've been looking for you. I'm like, yeah? She's like, yeah, I want you to submit some artwork. And if they like it, you could have your artwork submitted for approval for the mayor's office. I'm like, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I was like, what am I going to submit? She was like, well, you have to have something this size. I'm like, well, damn. I hardly ever paint anything small.
Okay.
Like, everything I paint are usually large. They're usually like 24 by 38 or something. They're always large pieces.
Right.
So I submitted them. They liked them. They said, all right, we're going to have it in the show. I was like, are you serious? Like, really? And so from there, I believe they only selected 6 artists.
Wow.
6.
Wow.
I'm like, damn, really?
1 to 6 out of probably thousands of submissions.
Right. So that
kind of hundreds.
That kind of makes me go back to when my dad was telling me, well, you got to be real good. You know? And I remember what he said, you got to be real good. So when you have to be real good, I invest a lot of time. A lot of time. Like, my friends will call me, what are you doing? Painting.
Right.
What are you doing? Painting.
Right.
What are you doing? Well, I'm posting some stuff online. What are you doing later?
Painting.
And I know this is like, I know it's probably like a buzzkill, but there was this one guy I was dating at one time, and he's like, all you ever do is paint. I'm like, sorry.
Right. I can't do nothing but be me.
Right.
And if you want to accept me, this is a whole.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. It's just like, this is what I do. But it was crazy because after that, I start seeing her everywhere. I'm like, you're just you're just vibing.
Right.
That's where it is. But I was really honored just to have it there. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious?
Exactly. And shout out Mayor Ed Gainey, becoming Pittsburgh's first black mayor, holding it down. He's definitely putting he's putting the work in. He's definitely putting the work in and working on doing exactly what his campaign said, making Pittsburgh more uniform, more one Pittsburgh and less segregated and more diverse, man. And just, again, having the artwork in the mayor's office, being recognized. Did you guys get recognized by city council as well?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so.
It was that was really dope. And just to be able to know, like, when people come in for meetings or you're going to see your artwork right there, that is like amazing.
It is, and that's one thing that he said when we were when we had that one meeting. He was just like, people come in, they look, they go, oh. They're not seeing the normal artwork. They're not always just seeing like,
they're not seeing George Washington and
all the time.
No, it wasn't Frederick Douglass. It'd be George Washington and I don't even know Abe Lincoln and all them.
Right.
So it's good that we're being represented.
Most definitely.
And again, you're just having the opportunity to just showcase what it is that you do. So we're getting down to the last minute, and I just want to again give you the kudos. For being a leader in the arts, being a leader for black women, being an inspiration to the youth, because we know you're doing some work with the youth as well. This ain't the last we're going to talk to you, because there's a lot that you got going on, and we're going to stay tapped in every step of the way. Just one more time, let them know how they can get in touch with you and how to tap in with you.
All right, so you could come straight to my website, and again, that's www.beaniepaints.com. You could reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram. On Facebook, it's Beanie Paints Pittsburgh Face Painter. Instagram, it's Beanie Paints. My phone number it's really easy. It's my business line, 412-951-5756.
There it is, and that's it. We're down to the last 4 seconds, and she killed it. Make sure y'all stay tuned.
Peace.
Perfect. So yeah, we'll have both episodes out to you today. It'll take a minute for Spotify to show up, but you'll get Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Google Podcasts as well. And then it'll be on our radio station, and yeah, it's just super dope. So we'll continue to push the narrative.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you for coming down. Thank y'all for tapping in. All all hundreds of y'all.